You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we summarise Day 2 of the 5th Ashes Test between Australia and England from Bellerive Oval. It's the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast, and let's get started. Let's have a look at the session-by-session breakdown of Day 2 of the 5th Ashes Test from Bellerive Oval. In the first session of play, saw Mitchell Starc become the first Australian wicket of the day. He was gone for 3, caught by Burns, bowled by Wood. And soon after, the captain followed him. Cummins for 2, caught Crawley, bowled Wood. Then Carey for 24, bowled by Wokes. And Nathan Lyon was the last Australian batsman to be dismissed. He was gone for 31, bowled by Stuart Broad. Australia dismissed for 303. England lost 2 wickets before the lunch break. Burns was run out for a duck by Labuschagne, and Crawley was the last wicket to fall for England for 18. Caught head, bowled Cummins. England at lunch were 2 for 34. In the second session of play, Dawood Malan was the first wicket to go for England after lunch. He was gone for 25. Caught Carey, bowled Cummins. Then Root for 34. LBW to Cummins. Then Stokes for 4. Caught Lyon, bowled Starc. And Pope was the last wicket to fall for England in that second session. For 14, caught Carey, bowled Boland. England at tea was 6 for 124. In the final session of play, saw Sam Billings go for 29, caught Boland, bowled Green. Then Wokes for 36, caught Carey, bowled Starc. Then Stuart Broad, gone for a duck, bowled by Starc. And Wood, out for 16, bowled by Cummins. England dismissed for 188. Australia lost 3 wickets before the end of play. David Warner was the first to go for a duck, caught by Pope, bowled by Broad. Then Labuschagne for 5, caught Billings, bowled Wokes. And then Khawaja was the last wicket to fall for Australia on Day 2. He was gone for 11, caught by Billings, bowled by Wood. Australia at stumps are 3 for 37 with a lead of 152 runs, with Steve Smith 17 not out and night watchman Scott Boland 3 not out. My thoughts on the day: I thought it was a fast forward day of Test match cricket. Everything was in fast forward. A lot of wickets fell. 17 wickets fell on Day 2, which is a fast forward day in my opinion. The Test match progressed pretty fast on day 2. Let's talk about Australia and how they went about things on Day 2, then talk about England. I thought for Australia, they batted well to get to 303. After starting the day 6 for 241, to get to 303, being from 3 for 12 to 303 is a pretty good score for Australia on this wicket. They batted extremely well to get to that score, which is a good score in this Test match, given that they bowled out England for 188 and they've got a good first innings lead of 152 runs at this stage. It was a good score in the first innings. Some good late order runs and contributions from Nathan Lyon, 31 he got off 27 balls. He hit a boundary and 3 sixes. Striking at 114. So good to see Nathan Lyon get into the runs. Playing some good shots, good pull and hook shots for 6, especially off Mark Wood, was impressive from Nathan Lyon. Also, he had good partnerships as well with Carey of 28 for the 9th wicket and Boland, 23 for the 10th wicket. And those partnerships were very crucial in terms of Australia getting to that 303 score. Australia bowled well to dismiss England for 188 to get a lead of 115 runs in the first innings. I thought Australia's bowling was class. They kept the pressure on England throughout the whole innings. They bowled good lines and lengths, and everyone contributed nicely in the bowling attack. Pat Cummins, the skipper, led from the front, 4 for 45 from his 13.4 overs. Mitchell Starc bowled well for his 3 wickets for 53 runs in 10 overs. Scott Boland bowled exceptionally well again. How impressive is Scott Boland? He was bowling superbly. He would have had a couple of more wickets. Obviously, he bowled well to Chris Wokes in particular. Had him out twice. Unfortunately, David Warner and Usman Khawaja dropped Chris Wokes twice off the bowling of Scott Boland. So unlucky there for Scott. He would have liked to get another couple of wickets, but he bowled well, 1 for 33, 6 maidens in 14 overs, doing his job again. And Cameron Green did well to chip in, picking up 1 for 45 from his 10 overs. So it was a great bowling effort from the Australian team. First of all, to dismiss England for 188 and get that crucial first innings lead of 115 runs. That lead has now increased to 152 runs, and more importantly for Australia, that's a good lead to have at this stage of the match, given how fast the match has been progressing. Australia's second innings, they lost 3 wickets quite early. Warner gone for a pair off Stuart Broad again in this series. Labuschagne was gone for 5, and Khawaja fought very well for his 11 off 38 balls in testing conditions late at night with the ball nipping around a bit under lights at Bellerive. He got a good delivery from Mark Wood that caught the glove and went straight to the wicketkeeper in Sam Billings, who took a good catch on his test debut behind the stumps. So Australia will be disappointed that they lost 3 wickets in that last session of play, but it was a very tricky situation to be in, with the ball nipping around a bit. And obviously Scott Boland was sent in as night watchman, and he did a very good job in surviving and getting through to stumps with Steve Smith. So Australia, their plan will be to look to increase the lead steadily as day 3 progresses. And obviously no need to rush, no need to do anything rash. Take your time. It's only day 3 of this test match, so take your time, build the lead steadily, get that up towards around about 300 to 350. In that range, I think Australia will be pretty confident to bowl England out and win this test match. So that'll be Australia's thinking heading into day 3. But I thought overall, a good day for Australia. The important thing is they've got the lead of 152 runs. They'll be looking to build that, hopefully get it past 300 towards 350. So a great day for Australia in terms of trying to set up this match, in terms of trying to finish the series 4-0. For England, they did well to bowl Australia out for 303. Could have been a lot less if they got things right to Australia's tail-enders. Now, in this series, England have struggled to dismissing Australia's tail-enders cheaply. They have conceded a lot of runs to Australia's tail-enders. Obviously, the partnerships of Lyon and Carey, 28 for the 9th wicket, Lyon and Boland, 23 for the 10th wicket. Could have been a lot less if they got their lines and lengths right, to Lyon especially, but also looking to wrap it up quickly. But they weren't able to do that. The batting performance from England, to be dismissed for 188, was a poor performance. No surprise from England. Their batting has been poor in this series, and it showed again on day 2. Obviously, many batsmen getting starts, but then getting out. Obviously, Chris Woakes was the highest scorer of the innings. He made 36, and the next best was Joe Root on 34. So it just tells you how bad England's batting has been in this match. They didn't cope against Australia's bowlers, the pressure that they were applying to their batsmen, and they just couldn't handle it and had a batting collapse. So no surprise from England there. They did well to take 3 wickets in Australia's second innings, but England are far behind in this match. They've got it all to do. They still trail by 152 runs, England, so a lot of work to do, but they've only got themselves to blame. That's why they're in this position, because they batted poorly, and also they didn't quite get it right with the ball on day 1 either. So a lot of work to do for England in this test match. What can we expect from both teams heading into day 3? Australia will be looking to take their time to build the lead. They will be thinking of getting beyond 300 to 350. Should be a good lead on this wicket here at Bellerive. England will be looking to keep the pressure on Australia and look to bowl good line and length. But if they don't, just like they did in the first innings, then it could get ugly for England in this test match. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get the latest episodes of the podcast, and like and share our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Until next time, keep safe, and bye for now.